Hey guys, it's Rebecca Oberstadt. In today's video, we are actually taking a blast from the past. This is Master of Orion 3. When I was a kid, I played Masters of Orion 1, and then 2, and then 3 came out when I was a teenager, and then now I own Masters of Orion. And so yeah, I'm not going to talk a whole lot in this beginning part because they talk here in just a minute. So I'll get into some more stuff in a minute.
It is said, the true challenge of creation lies not in the engineering, but rather in the ability to control one's progeny. The Antarans understood this axiom well, understood that it applies to the individual organism, as well as the body politic. First, analyze the problem. Devise a solution that allows for manageability. Assemble the elements that comprise the whole. Combine them, allowing reactions to occur. Observe the reactions and identify the cancerous elements. The elements that perform counter to the intended result. The ones that gnaw away at the new creation. And once identified, the rogue elements can be dealt with. Cast out. Eliminated. Thus, the new creation can thrive and grow. Evolve towards its intended purpose. The Antarans now face the challenge of control. Control is not a simple thing. It requires vigilance, discipline, and sometimes intervention. For when the new creation becomes strong enough, independent enough, it can veer from its intended destiny to forge its own. For only when control is firmly and finally established can one rightfully hold the title of Master.
All right, so now that you've got the intro out of the way, we have all of the races of this game. Human, Evian, or Evon, and then Cylon. Those are all the humanoid races. This is the details for them. Hopefully you can read it okay. I had to zoom this in because it literally only takes up a quarter of my screen. So I zoomed in this footage quite a bit. So that you guys can see what is what. I usually pick the Evon or the Cylon because Cylons are like the brainy ones. They're really fast at research. Evons are kind of like half human, half Cylon, so they're really good at kind of like the human tactics, but also the research ability from the Cylons, and they're not quite as hated. Then you have the Cybernetic, which is the Mechlar and the Cyanoid. Mechlar they're like a hive kind of mind where it's basically one computer using a server and everybody uses information off of that server. And then you have the Cyanoid, which is another computerized kind of like AI based person. Is it even a person really? It's a machine. Then you have the Saurians, which are the Sakra, the Ras, and the Grandal. And the Sakra are like the lizard alligator kind of people. And then you've got the Ras, which is like a really weird amphibian kind of one. And then you've got the Grandal, which is it's like they're a hybrid race. Like they combined the two and made that one. It's not in the new game, so Only the Sakuras in the new game. Also, the Meklar and the human and the Cylons are in the new Masters of Orion like game, the new one. This is the Ichthyosian. So you have the Trilarian and the Nomo. These are like the aquatic kind of fishy people. Like that guy there kind of looks like a fish. And then this one here is like a cephalopod. So these are like, when you like go to talk to them, they sound like aquatic and whatnot. So there is that. These guys are like super laid back, very chill, willing to trade with everybody, will basically go with whatever you choose. So if you decide to play another race, these people will always kind of be your friend, unless you're not organic. And then you have the Ethrin, which is Emissaries and Eoladi. Again, this is like a jellyfish. This one here, also very accommodating race, very good to trade with. They're not very fast on research, but they are pretty good if you need like somebody to like bolster you if you are trying to run for Senate. And then this race here is very odd. I don't know what the heck it is. I don't know if it's a fish. I don't know if it's like a squid thing. I don't know if it's a jellyfish. I have no idea what the heck this is modeled after. If you want to pause and read what I'm scrolling through, you can. Then you've got the geodic, which is the silicoids, which are basically crystals. They live on very inhabitable planets. Their mining is like hands down the best. They're best suited for all kinds of environments, but they're kind of assholes. So there's that. Silicoids are always kind of like, they take what they want. They only talk to you if they abso-fucking-lutely have to. So there, if you look, it says diplomacy poor. Then you have Insecta, which is the Clacons. That's also in the new game, as so is the Silicoid. They're a hive. You kill one, everybody gets mad. So you kind of want them to be on your side. And then the Takiti, I think, were like humans that were turned into bugs, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, that's the other bug one. There's one, the Harvester must be the one that's combined. This is not in the new game. And out of the Ethrian and the Ichthyosian ones, those, I think, one of each of those is in the new game. Now this one here, the Ichthal from the Harvester, it is part human, part bug. The Antarans made this race as like a workforce. It says right there at the top, it says the Harvester project was a result of the Antarans' quest for biological agents that would ravenously, and hey, put that back up. I was reading that, dumbass. Well, all of this is real time. This is all slow. There, I'm picking my person. All of the rest of this is going to be times 4, so everything is going to go by really quick. This is just 2 hours worth of gameplay. I don't know how much talking I'm going to do through this, but this shows you basic starting things, how to get going, that kind of stuff. I didn't put a whole lot of thought into how I was filming this when I did the screen record. Let me see, does this tell me when I recorded it? March 27th, 2021 is when I started to screen record this. So basically I'm going through all of the options to pick for a new game. I'm gonna let this play for a minute and then I will come back. So, popping in here for another little bit, if you noticed, I got all of my planets set up. I went ahead and sent my ships to go research. There are master notes that pop up if you watch. Those will be like helpful if you're starting off with this game, because they do kind of give you like hints and tips on what to do. I showed you how I set things up. I try and find habitable places nearby that I can, make a city on. Try not to expand too quick, too fast, but you want to make sure that you have research and stuff going and everything else set up, because if you get into a situation where somebody is trying to attack you and whatnot, it's best to have some of this stuff set up early. That way it's already done and you don't have to worry about it not being done, or forgetting to do it. So always set up your research first. Whatever research tree that you want to work on that first, and then get those in the queue. Make sure that this planetary view, make sure you kind of have a balance of everything, at least one bioharvesting, one mining, one industry, one government, one military, one research, and one recreation. That should be everything. And then keep an eye on what your planet is building, at least every so often, so that way you have a better understanding of what is going on your planet. If you look at the different regions here, there's bioharvesting going on, and then I added military, government, industry was already on there, and then I'll go in and I will make sure that everything at least has at least one of everything, and then I kind of let the planet build. I keep it pretty balanced so that the planet will build what it needs, so that way you don't have to kind of babysit the planet. It just does what it wants, or you set one of everything so that your basis is covered, and then you don't have to worry about farting around and figuring out what the planet needs, because once you put one of everything on there, then you know that at least one of everything is done, and if it needs something else, it will go and build it on its own. So you don't have to worry about sitting and watching and staying on top of it. Is it nice to check in every once in a while or every couple of times that something has been built? Then I would say absolutely, because that way you know what's being built, you know when things are finishing, what research is going on for it and that kind of thing. So keep an eye on those kinds of things, but don't focus on it every turn. I would say every 5 turns, every 10 turns, go to the planets and rotate through stuff, make sure that everything is going. And you can see from the main planet view what is being built, how long it's going to take, those things, because you don't really want to have to waste your time sitting on that. And usually within the first 20 rounds or 20 turns on the game, it's going to be really boring at first, super boring, because it's all the setup stuff. You're getting all of your base stuff done. You're trying to get all your planets to build all their crap, and it takes a while to get it done. And I'm going to be honest. This game is something that I put on and I play when I have other stuff I'm doing. Something that, if I'm waiting on a video to render or export or whatever, I'll go play this and watch a YouTube video at the same time, because this game can be super boring, or at least in my opinion it can. And I've played this game since I was younger, and I do really enjoy it. So it's just one of those weird things that you kind of have to be aware of, that games like this aren't for everybody. There's not a whole lot of questing. It's a lot of decisions that you kind of have to make that will be the best for whatever your population is and what your people need and things like that. And it is what it is. So you kind of babysit it, and then you let it do its own thing. So hopefully this is helpful. Showing you all the screens, showing you kind of some of the things that I go through and I look at on the regular, what spies I built first, what people I talked to, where I built things. And I always turn on migration, by the way, for my planets, so that they get more people faster. If you don't want more people to take care of faster, then don't turn it on. But I find that it's helpful to me to have stuff like that turned on. So I do. And I constantly leave the stuff turned on. So, or I make sure that it's turned on until the planets are full. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording here again for a little bit, pop in some more music, and let you just watch some of the gameplay. This really isn't like a tutorial. It's a kind of what I do when I play this game. This is an older game. I will try and pull up the information for it so I can read off like how old exactly this game is, when it came out, that kind of thing. And when I pop back in, I will talk about that in a minute. All right, so I went ahead and pulled up some information. It says Masters of Orion 3 came out in February of 2003, so I would have been 23 when this came out. The other games came out before that. It looks like Masters of Orion or Master of Orion came out in September of 93. I was almost 13. And then Masters of Orion 2 Battle of Antares came out in 1996 in November, so I was already 16 when that came out. And then the newest version, I think, is the one listed here. Well, this one says Master of Orion Conqueror or Conquest. It looks like that came out in 2016. Okay, Master of Orion Conquer the Stars 2016. And the newest one I have came out in either 2018 or 2019. So there's that. So when I still have my Master of Orion 3 book, if you want proof, I will post it on social media. I still have the book from this game. I still have the original game disc from this game. Will it play on my Windows 10 PC? Absolutely not, which is why I bought it through Steam. I bought all 3 games, and I went ahead and did like gameplay recordings for all 3 games. But oh my god, trying to play the older games now, I was like, man, how did we play this back then? I mean, the graphics are so bad, very pixelated, but I mean, that's what we played back in the day. That was what we had. And looking back at it now, 20 years later, looking at all these games that I grew up playing, that I loved playing, that you had to have the book to answer the login questions. Oh my god, it brings back memories. I remember when Master of Orion 1 and 2 were initially out, and my brother and I liked playing the game. But the problem is that you had to have the game manual in order to load the game. So you would load the game, and then it would ask you to turn to a page. And on that page, you would have to go to a specific paragraph and find a specific line and a specific word, and you had to type that in order to log in every flipping time. And I tell you what, that caused more fights in my household when I was a kid than any other thing. My brother would run off to his room with the damn book, claiming he was going to read it. Of course, that motherfucker never read that book. But then when my dad wanted to play the game, or when I wanted to play the game, or when somebody in the household wanted to play the game besides him, nobody could find the book. And of course, my mom always yelled at me, and I always got my ass beat for it because the game book was missing and somebody else wanted to play the game, and I always got blamed for the game book being missing. So there's that. So this game caused a hell of a lot of problems when I was a kid. And I mean, I think that was one of the reasons why I wanted to come back and try and play this game now, was to see if it was what I remembered. And this version, yes, this is what I remembered from being a kid. The new version, I really actually enjoy it. It's kind of difficult. And there's a lot of like new things to do on the new version of the game. And I remember, I don't know, I remember so much about this game. Like, going back and playing some of these older games is literally a blast from the past. I know my channel is supposed to be beauty and makeup and lifestyle and crap like that, but I've been a gamer most of my life. I hated being a girl when I was growing up. I hated being female. I hated having girl parts. I absolutely hated being a girl because I was abused most of my life. So I absolutely detested being a girl. So I did everything I could to not be one. So I turned to gaming at a really young age so that I could enjoy being one of the guys and hanging out with the guys and doing what they did, because gaming was fun. Yes, I can crochet and I can cross stitch and I can cook and I know how to flip and clean and all the other girly bullshit that the society thinks that we're supposed to be required to know how to do. But you know what? I think everybody should be required to know how to maintain a household. Just saying that. I think everybody, man, woman, child, doesn't matter. Everybody needs to learn how to cook and clean and sew and do minor repairs on things, because what happens if you don't want to be with a man? Or what happens if you don't want to be with a woman? What happens if you like being by your damn self? You don't want to have to rely on somebody else to do all this stuff for you. You should be able to do it yourself. So I'll get off my soapbox now. But anyways, I'm going to play some music and let you guys watch the gameplay a little bit more. Again, everything is 4 times speed, and I will come back at the end and talk at you. So now we're at the end of the video. I think I have gameplay for the Master of Orion 2 and Master of Orion. If you guys want me to edit that, then leave a comment down below. I will wait until this goes up to even think about editing those, because I have quite a few older games that I have downloaded or like rebought to like do the whole blast from the past thing. And if you guys are interested, then I will go ahead and edit them and get them put up. But if you are not interested in them, then there's no point in me, you know, going back over these games and replaying them. And some of these have some really bad graphics. I mean, they were great graphics for the day, but now looking back at them with the 1080p that we use for our monitors and the heavy duty gaming cards that we have so that we can play online video games and things like that, it really makes you appreciate what we had at the time, gaming wise, especially this game here that came out in 2003, whereas the other games came out in like the 90s. So if you guys want me to go back and revisit those games and play them, then you know, I will do that. What I also probably need to do is an updated list, or like go through all of the games that I currently have on my computer or on my gaming drive, so that I will give you guys the opportunity to ask questions or request a specific game, that kind of thing. That way I'm filming content that you guys are more interested in. I have a bunch of different games I haven't even tried out yet. I've got games I don't even have installed yet that I have gotten free from the Epic store. So there's that as well. If you want like tutorial type specific things, then I'm going to have to figure out how to do it. I'm finally finishing my way through Frostpunk. I have one episode left on Frostpunk that is literally a killer. I have not been able to win that one yet. Jason's still stuck on like the second one, so I don't feel so bad because this last one is doing a number on me. I have tried playing it 5 and 6 different ways and I just cannot figure out what I'm doing wrong. So I might actually have to watch a YouTube video on it to see what I'm doing wrong. And then if you guys want like tutorials on how to go through each of the games, what to do, how to get things to or how to survive in that game, then let me know, because shut up, Bob. Then I will do that. So anyways, let me know what your thoughts are down below. And yes, I'm gonna leave me yelling at the cat in here because this is life, you know. It's not always quiet here. And sometimes at almost 7 o'clock in the morning, a fluffy cat decides he wants to sit and yell at my father, who just woke up. So let me know what you guys think down below. Would you be interested in going back and revisiting these games? Do you think you would actually play one of these retro games, like the games that you grew up on? What are some of the games that you did grow up on? And again, would you be interested in going back and revisiting them to see how different they are now compared to how you enjoyed them when you were younger? That kind of thing. Because I tell you what, going back and playing some of these old games, it really does make me appreciate the games that we have now a whole lot more. And so yeah, I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic day or night wherever you are, and yeah, leave your thoughts and comments down below. Bye.